from the WDWL TV multiplex, live from Grumpy's studio. We bring you, with great anticipation, the pride of this station. The grumpy old man, me, and the grumpy vulture. Would you like to take a bow? Not with your banner? Well, then you just go back in the corner. Oh, okay, you're going to take a bow. All right, take a bow. Very nice. Asshole. Back in your corner. Look at the camera. Okay. Greetings, friends. And how are we all doing tonight? I screwed up this microphone, so I don't know what it's sounding like on your end. For some reason, to me, it seems like it's got a bit of an echo. But this mic doesn't have an echo feature. I don't know. I dropped it. Yeah, I was repositioning the mount on the console here. And I went to put it in the mount and missed the mount by like that. Next thing I know, it's on the studio floor. So I was, oh God, my favorite microphone. So I've been playing with Prism a little bit, as you can see here. We have a counter on screen now. Tells me how many people are on here from, well, let's see. We got Faceplant first, and then we got YouTube, and then it says all. So that must be a combination of two of them together, like we can't add. And then in the bottom here, I've got a sound bar, which basically that is telling me what my sound is like coming across on your end. I think. I don't know. I'm playing with all the you know, there is a list of different things, like the clock, and then this counter, and then this audio bar at the bottom of the screen over here. I'm going to play with stuff. I'm going to see exactly how many items there are. There's a whole list, but like, one is a background. We don't need a background. We got a background. As a matter of fact, number 20 is up on the back. Here is number 20. My cityscape background. I think it's kind of nice. It's brighter, I'll say that. You can see it without me having to put a lot of light on it. Although, let me bump this up one. Oh, too bright. That's another problem with these studio lights. There should be an intermediary there, you know. But this is weak, but the next click is way too bright. Although I do have a shitload of studio lights, courtesy of my buddy. Matter of fact, we didn't even know he had them. His wife just came across them recently. He had a whole box full of different LED studio lights. So she called me up and she says, hey, come over and get these. And I was like, well, I'll go through them and we'll share them. And she's like, no, just come get the whole box. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a hold of one of his club members where the rest of the microphones went. And I'm going to pick out a couple of lights and then I'm going to give them the rest. I do not need this box full of lights because I could light up Times Square or Piccadilly Circus with all the lights that I have in this box. So I'm not going to keep them all. I hit my boot. It's nice of his wife to give me all this stuff, but I'm going to share the wealth. Now, for today's topic. Well, the starter. Because you know we don't stick to a topic here. Does anybody speak English? I had to call 4 corporations today. And I'm not going to mention any names because I don't want them to come back after me. You know, back in the day, when you called a company, you had a receptionist who would answer, "Thank you for calling ABC Company. Can I help you?" Not today. I would say 90% of answering services are either in India or Pakistan. And all these companies have those organizations do their answering and then somehow transfer the call back to America. And they think they're fooling people, you know, like the first guy today. "Hello, my name is Bob." Yeah, right. Your name is Bob and my name is Henry. They all pick American names. The second guy, no. "Thank you for the calling. My name is Bill." A bill? No, a bill. That's what you said, a bill. No, not a bill, a bill. Oh, Billa. Not the Billa. Billa. Whatever, Stanislaus. I need to talk to purchasing. Company number 3. Hello? Thank you for calling. My name is Steve. What? My name is Steve. Steve? Not Steve. That's what I said. Steve. Not Steve. Steve. Oh. Can I talk to billing, please? Who would you like to talk to in the billing? Anybody in billing. And then the fourth one, you know. First one was a female. And they also pick American names. I get this. Hello? My name is Jessica. Jessica? Not Jessica. Jessica. That's what I said. Jessica. No, Jessica. Jessica. Is there anyone there that speaks English? I am speaking English. Not my form of English. Can I speak with someone else? Hold on. Next one comes on. My name is Shirley. Yeah. Okay. Your name's Shirley. Shirley, your name is Shirley. Can I have shipping department, please? Shipping. SHIPPING. Sheeping. Not sheeping. Oh, never mind. Click. So I call back. Hello? My name is Bob. Yeah, and my name is Stanislaus F. Golumbowski. Oh, Jesus Christ. And then you can never understand them. And if it's bad enough you can't understand him, and you ask for somebody that can speak English, they get real indignant. I am speaking English. No, you're not. Not my kind of English. And then, if you're lucky enough to get an American, the first thing I ask them, why the hell do you farm your calls out overseas? Well, it's cheaper. See, they eliminate all the operators because they would have to pay them like $20 an hour. Well, in Pakistan, they're paying like 85 cents, which over there is big money. No matter what corporation you call. And the worst one is AOL. Now, I have been with AOL since its inception. When you used to get the CD in the grocery store, you know, the software on a CD, there were like 50,000 of them at the end of every cash register. I still have one somewhere. I got to find it. It says AOL right on the CD. No matter what department you talk to, no one speaks English. No one. You know, if it wasn't that I got grandfathered in for my monthly rate, I would quit in a heartbeat. I would go with Gmail because it's free. But I get a shitload of extra features. Yeah, I get computer cleaning programs. I get antivirus software. I get a package of stuff for like $4.99 a month. And I'm grandfathered into that. So I stay with AOL. But when you call them, oh, Jesus, it takes me 20 minutes to get to the department I want because I can't understand the person on the other end, what department they're telling me they're in. And then the on-hold music. Oh, my God. It is the most irritating crap on earth. I think a group of 10-year-olds in a garage could make better on-hold music than the shit that they have. And if that isn't aggravating enough, you call these places that have these AI answering machines. And if you don't know the code word, you can't get past this machine. AT&T is one of the worst ones. Just before I quit using AT&T as my internet. I learned the code word, representative. I would say agent, sales department. I can't even remember all the ones I would yell. My neighbor would think I was nuts. She would hear me screaming, billing, agent, sales. And then finally one day I went, representative. And then somebody answered, thank you for calling AT&T. Don't thank me because you're going to get, you're going to hear it. I'm sorry I'm going to swear, but I'll tell you what, this is the biggest asshole outfit on earth. Try to get through. And more companies are going to these answering machines. Oh, God. My current internet provider is unbelievable. Because when you call a real, live American answers, no AI answering machine, nothing. Not push 1, push 37. No. You get, thank you for calling, I should give their name, but people, corporations are touchy, but thank you for calling, ABC Internet. Can I have the billing department? Why, sure, hold on. Then, billing, Fred speaking. I'm like, it's a breath of fresh air calling my internet. But this is a rarity. Because no matter who you call today, you're going to get Pakistan, India, I think Ukraine, Russia. You don't get an English-speaking person. And then what makes matters worse, like with AT&T, you never get not only the same person twice, you don't get the same area. One day, I was having all kinds of problems with my internet. I took a trip across the United States. My first call was answered in Boston. My second call was answered in New York. My third call, Chicago. My fourth call, San Diego. And my fifth call, the Virgin Islands. I was like, Jesus. And no matter what, if I learned a lot just before I quit these companies. I learned with AT&T, you get the call location, like say Chicago. Then you ask for the person's name and employee number. Only at that point, if I called and say that call was answered in California, they could transfer me back to Chicago to the person I spoke to. I learned this as I was quitting. I'm ending my service with you. Well, why, Mr. Grumpy? You don't want to know. Mainly because when I call in, I would like to talk to the same person regarding my problem. Because here's another thing. When they make notes, a lot of times they don't put in the notes exactly 100% of what you're telling them the problem is. and you have to repeat the whole thing all over. With my internet provider, I call, an American answers the phone, who transfers me to another American who has notes in detail as to what I've called about previously. Not to mention, I got a hell of a rate. Oh, I'm paying. Now, I just have internet because cable's a ripoff. I have 1 gig speed, the highest speed they offer. I am paying 1/4 of what I was paying with AT&T for their 1 gig speed. I moved 8 houses. Where I'm at right now, I could not get my 1 gig speed internet because this part of the street isn't wired. No. They ran, first of all, they ran out of federal funding because the federal government was paying them to run fiber optic cable. They ran out of course, they get greedy. There's part of the problem. They get this federal money. Everybody, gets in corporate. They get a new car, a trip to the Bahamas. Then when the money runs out, it's like, oh, well, sorry, you don't get fiber optic cable. So they ran out of money, and then that virus hit. So by the time it was safe to go back to work, like 2 years later, they didn't have any money and they didn't have any employees. So I had moved up here and they wanted to give me, get this, 50 meg. I said, 50 meg? I'm getting a gig down the street. Well, sorry, we can't gig you. So it just so happened, I'm pissed off. Too bright? Too much glow off the top of my head? Should I back it down? It looks too bright. Too much glow off the top of my head. Back it down. Looks better. So I need to cool off. So I go, I'm going to take a walk. As I get to the sidewalk, I spot my internet provider service truck. So I walked up to the guy and I said, I got a question. He said, yes. I said, I live right there, 2 houses over. He said, okay. Can I get 1 gig service? Oh, well, yes. The whole neighborhood's wired. What? Give me the phone number. I come in the house and I called. I said, hey, I want your 1 gig service. How much? And then they told me and I went, how much? They told me again. I said, wait a minute, let me clean my ear. How much? Sir, This is the third time. The rate hasn't changed. Why do you keep asking? I says, because I was paying $80 a month with your competitor. And the girl went, really? Who's your competitor? I said, AT&T. Oh, we get a lot of their people. I said, really? Well, you're getting another one. When can you do an install? The girl said, how about tomorrow at 10 o'clock? Works for me. It has been outstanding internet. Believe me. I never lose signal. As a matter of fact, I've got my my cell phone service. Well, one phone. They get one. Consumer Cellular gets another one. Mainly, here was the deal. I needed to upgrade my equipment, my modem, and my Wi-Fi unit. In order to get the equipment for free, they wanted to give me, none of it makes sense, but in order to get all my equipment for free, they wanted to give me free cell phone service for a year. I'm like, repeat that? Well, yes. What they're hoping is at the end of the year, I will keep my cell phone with them. Well, you know, at the end of the year, there's going to be this little increase in your bill. They wanted both my phones. I said, no, you get one. Because I am with Consumer Cellular. You people across the pond, I don't think they're over there. I pay for unlimited talk and text, and I can't remember how many gigs of data. I don't use data, so unlimited talk and text. Real, true unlimited talk and text. $25 a month. I do not believe at the end of the year my internet provider is going to be able to match that. So I will take that phone back to Consumer Cellular. Because, well, right now I could cancel. You could cancel anytime, no problem. It's just the pain in the ass swapping SIM cards and all that bullshit. So at the end of the year, my second phone will be back with Consumer. And everybody's like, are you a drug dealer, Grumpy? 2 cell phones? No. With these cell phones being as delicate as they are, I always have a backup because I have already sat on 2 of my smartphones. And you know what happens to the screens when you sit on a cell phone. I can't afford to be without a phone, so I have 2. And here's the good thing. Let me light this before I break it. I keep twisting it around in my fingers. the second cell phone is an Obama phone. Now, anybody in America that has had or has an Obama phone, you know that they are cheap Chinese junk phones. You never heard of the brand of phone. Well, it just so happened I was with Assurance Wireless, which is one of the Obama providers. And like a dummy, I sat on my Obama phone and broke the shit out of the screen. They send me a Motorola Moto G. Now, this is unheard of when it comes to Obama phones, because you don't get a Motorola or a Samsung or a Nokia or any well-known. No. You get a Chop Suey or a Ching Chang or a Ziffle Doodle. Well, I get this Motorola Moto G. And I was like, holy shit. So, what happened was, I forgot to renew, because you have to renew every year. Even though you're getting the phone for free, you got to renew. I forgot to renew, and they shut my service off. I didn't want to renew because it's a pain in the ass. Even though it's free, you only get like 450 minutes a month and like 20 text messages. I know some of these Obama services are a little different. So I called Assurance and I said, hey, is this phone unlocked? Why, yes. Why do you ask? I said, because I'm not going to renew. And I don't want to just throw the phone in a dresser drawer. I want to use it with another carrier. It's unlocked. It's yours. Do what you want with it. So I called Consumer and I said, hey, I want to hook up my Motorola Moto G with Consumer. No problem. We'll send you a SIM card. A couple days later, here comes my UPS guy with my SIM card. So I have two Motorola phones. My first Motorola phone is a Motorola Moto G stylus, because not having any feeling in my fingers, when I go to text message, it's a pain in the ass. So I need a phone with a stylus. The other one is a Moto G. It doesn't have a stylus, but it's still a Motorola phone, and it's not a knockoff Motorola. So I got two quality phones that were both with Consumer. Now, one is with Consumer and one is with my internet provider until November. Yeah, November. And then come November, the phone's going back to Consumer. But that's the reason I have two phones. Because if I break one, I'm screwed. I don't have a landline in my house. I used to, but not anymore. And I cannot afford to be without a telephone. So that's why I have two. Most drug dealers have 4 or 5. That's the giveaway. 2 is nothing, you know. I watched an arrest video the other day, and this guy definitely was a drug dealer. Police were pulling cell phones out of everywhere in his car. They ended up, he had 9 working cell phones. 9. I have a hard enough time answering 2. Although I finally changed the ringtone on the other phone. That's almost as bad. People with iPhones. Every iPhone in the world rings with the same tone. I don't know why people don't change their ringtones. The ringtone that's on every iPhone is the first original ringtone with the first iPhone. You know an iPhone from 50 feet away by the ringtone. And no one changes their ringtones. It would drive me insane. The first thing I do when I get a cell phone, I change the factory ringtone. And then I had to change it on the one phone because both of them had the same ringtone. And I'm like, hello, 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 hello. But yeah, all you people out there with iPhones, do you know how to change the ringtone? You can change the ringtone. Just saying. You go into your settings, and you can change the ringtone from the original Steve Jobs ringtone. But no one ever, even watching police interrogation videos, as soon as that phone rings, I'm like, oh, God, another one. People, you are allowed to change your ringtone. There's nothing in the contract that said you are not allowed to touch the ringtone. Every iPhone on earth you're allowed to change the ringtone, people. If any of you out there have iPhones in the chat, you're allowed to change the ringtone. Really. Grumpy ain't shitting you. No. I'm not getting you in trouble with Apple. You can change the ringtone to something other than the factory original from the first iPhone ever produced. I know my ringtones a mile away. And I drive people crazy with my ringtones. Let me see if I can do this here. Watch me screw my phone up. That ain't the ringtone. Come on. Now it don't want to do the whole thing. It's the Lone Ranger. When that phone rings, anybody my age, they immediately look over and go, oh, we know that ringtone. Let me see if I can get the other one to... shit. Oh, that phone's charging. Let's leave it alone. Yeah, we got to keep the voltage up. But yes, all you iPhone owners, please change your ringtone. Do it for Grumpy. You're allowed. Steve Jobs will not haunt you. Apple will not send out, a hit squad if you change your ringtone. Every iPhone ever manufactured, no one has ever changed their ringtone. And it's not that great of a ringtone. Hey, Jesus. By the way, did you happen to have any luck? Did you do any researching today? No great rush. I just would like to know. I'm not seeing a response. Uh-oh. I have a researcher across the pond checking in to see if he can come up with what newspaper I was in, or newspapers that I was in, with my wonderful Boston Market wedding. And I know the picture is us sharing meatloaf wedding cake. I know that's the picture. Because that was the picture that was in every goddamn newspaper in America. They couldn't have got anything else. Oh, no. Corporate office was like, hey, zoom in on them eating that meatloaf. Just to prove it's not made out of kangaroo. Me too, Jenny. I have never owned any Apple product. I'm a loyal Android person. That's why I have the 2 Motorola phones. And my LG tablet, everything I own is Android. People say, oh, Apple products are way easier to use. Well, maybe. If you started out with an Apple product, whether it be a phone or a tablet or a computer, yeah. But for an Android user to switch over to Apple, it's like Chinese dictionary. I tried. My neighbor, she said, here, mess with my phone. I was like, yeah. And then for the longest time, you had to have the special goddamn charger. They finally, from what I hear, have gone to a USB-C on all their phones. But the early ones had that fire something, Thunderbolt or Firebolt or something. Weirdest looking goddamn plug I ever saw. But yeah. Everything. But see, this is a method to Steve's madness. If you bought an Apple computer, he didn't want anyone buying generic equipment. That's why it had to be an Apple mouse. And it had to be an Apple keyboard. And an Apple charging cord. I'm not sure if the charger was 5 volts. I would think that would have been, although Steve wanted everything exclusive to Apple. And that's what really ticked me off. I was considering, now everybody told me, for production work, an Apple computer is the best one because you look like all throughout any production studio in Hollywood, they all use Apple. And their editing software is outstanding. I've heard that. Matter of fact, my buddy's son that runs that studio out in Burbank, everything that he's got is Apple because he said they make the best editing software, the best music software. But for me, to buy an Apple computer just to use for this, it ain't worth it. First of all, goddamn Apple computer's like $2,000. And second of all, by the time I learned how to use it, they'd be patting me in the face with a shovel. I'm slowly figuring Prism out. I went through quite a bit today. I cannot find anywhere where I can interact with the chat by typing in a response. Same thing, I couldn't find anything where I could bring a chat message up on the screen. But as you see, I've got 2 more toys on the screen. And so far, they're successful because look at the counter. YouTube, 5 people, total 5. Faceplant, 0. And the little sound bar at the bottom is registering. And I still have the clock. And I got the chat. I was really considering ditching Prism for like StreamYard or EvMux or whatever the hell that EvMux. And then I sat back and I went, you know what? Prism ain't broke. Don't fix it. For what I'm doing, it's working perfect. And now that I got the chat up, it's even better. Because now I can read the comments and I can respond to the person making the comment. I don't need to type it in. It's even better. I can read the comment and respond to it. So, I'm going to stick with Prism. I'm still playing with it. I don't know, as far as the chat, I don't think I'm going to mess with it. As long as I have it up on the screen, I don't need to type in anything. And it looks good because every time a new comment comes up, it's in a different color. It must auto change because we got red, we got light green, we got turquoise, we got dark blue, light blue. So evidently it rotates color. Maybe I did that because there was something about colors. So maybe when I brought the chat up, I put it for a color rotation. I'll look at it tomorrow, but I got to be careful. I don't want to be my luck. I'll blow the chat away and never get it back. I could bring it back. Just like putting up the clock and the counter. I got that figured out. Like right now, I could make the counter and the sound, the audio level go away. I could shut it off. And then I could turn it back on. Same thing with the chat. I could shut the chat off and turn it back. Why turn the chat off? Took me so long to get the chat up there. And it's nice because I can interact with my peoples. My internet family. Yeah, my internet family. I never knew I had relatives across the pond. Oh. Yeah, I got relatives. I heard from the guy in Sweden the other day. He sent me an email. He's been ill. And he does listen, but he hasn't got time to get on during a live stream. But he does listen. So, I have family over in London. I have family in Sweden. I'm waiting for somebody in Greenland. I was like, whoa. Yeah, I thought the other day I kind of pushed the boundaries. Kind of making fun of the royal family. Although, Chuck does have some weird ears. Thank God his kids didn't inherit that. Oh, I'd have felt sorry for them. Oh, Harry and William, they had Dumbo ears. I wish he would step down. I really do. You know, I know, and I'm going to hear this. He couldn't wait for mommy to go bye-bye. You know, he figured she'd live forever and he'd never get to be king, you know. So, he's going to milk it. But I wish that he would step down and let William have the throne. Mainly, they need some young blood. They've had old blood for a long time. They need some young blood. And I think this is the reason Charles isn't stepping down. Because he knows William would kind of change the old stuffy bullshit. He would modernize. And I think that's why Chuck isn't stepping down. But that's what my opinion, being an American looking in. That's what you kind of need over there. You need some young blood to remodernize everything and change a lot of the old stuffed shirt bullshit. Now, I know people love the pageantry. I'm not saying change that. But they need some young blood on the throne. They really do. Like, you know, when Elizabeth was, what was she, in her 20s when she became queen? You know, unfortunately, the older she got, the stuffiness kind of came back into the monarchy. But we across the pond looking that direction say, you need a little young blood in there. And I really think William could make some wonderful changes for the country. Because Chuck is still, he's set in them old ways. You can see by some of the work that William has done with charities and that. He's trying to modernize things. But you know, Chucky's like, easy boy. So I think that's why Chucky ain't stepping down. I thought for sure when he got that health diagnosis, he'd say, okay, I'm gonna. But unfortunately, him and Kate at the same time, that was bad timing. It really was. And we over here don't hear much about Kate. How she's doing. I know she's cut back on a lot of her appearances, but I really hope that everything's all right with her, because we need that. You need that young blood on the throne. You really do. Not to mention, it would be nice to see another coronation. I loved all that pageantry. Oh, except for Camilla. That was scary. I still say, what Chucky saw in her, I cannot believe he gave up Diana for that. Jesus. And she looked like that even when she was young. Nobody would play with her when she was a little kid. In order to get the dog to play with her, they tied a pork chop around her neck. Oh. See, Nomad, it's interesting. There was a poll recently, and they said Americans follow the royals more than the Brits follow the royals. And I believe it. Because, boy, I'll tell you what, when any news comes out about the royals, boy, we're right on top of it. Everybody carries it. All the newspapers, all the TV stations. We, as much as we don't want a king over here, although we got one, unfortunately, King Trump, if he could change things with Congress, he would not be president. He would be king or dictator, although he's quite a bit like that right now. And I gotta watch. You never know when Big Brother is listening. Be my luck, there'll be a knock at the door. Be the CIA, the Secret Service, the FBI. Come with us, Grumpy. Now I'd be getting one of my pictures taken with one of them signs under my chin. Yeah, you gotta watch. Good old Trumpy's got ears everywhere. Even more so, you know, since that guy shot a piece of his ear off. I'll tell you what. You talk about somebody that was lucky, because he turned his head right at that precise moment, and that bullet just winged his ear, because had he not turned his head, it would have gone in one side and come out the other. So he was quite lucky. But ever since then, they've like tripled the Secret Service around him. All our tax dollars at work. Not to mention, and across the pond, I don't think you know this, every ex-president has a full Secret Service detail 24/7. Yeah. Talk about wasted tax dollars. Yeah. Obama has, his wife has a detail with her. Clinton, Hillary, Bush. Yeah. They all have. It has not changed. It's the same as if they were still in office. They get a full Secret Service detail paid for by us taxpayers 24/7. So anytime Bill decides he wants to drive up to the deli to grab a beer, got a Secret Service entourage with him. If Hillary wants to go get her hair done, Secret Service entourage with her. Yeah. Talk about wasted tax dollars. Holy shit. The only way to save money is when they pass away. Carter had one, even though he was basically on his deathbed. Yep. Full Secret Service detail. I don't think, now I could be wrong, I don't know if you guys are that big on security over there. Does William have an entourage that follows him around? Or just a couple of guys from MI6? I think it's MI6. But over here, oh, yeah. Full detail. I don't know how many cars. As a matter of fact, I don't think any of the ex-presidents can drive. I think the Secret Service chauffeurs them around to this day. I don't think Obama can run out and jump in his Corvette and tool around the block. And then they got old Elon in there, cutting this department and cutting that department. He hasn't cut any of the Secret Service. And then I read today, he attends the cabinet meetings. He's not a cabinet official. How the hell he was able to worm his way into the White House, I'll never know. Although, maybe Trump needs to borrow a few bucks. Because if anybody's got the money, oh, yeah. Elon's got so many zeros behind his bank account, they fall off the edge. I can't remember how many billions he's worth. And you know what? Like him and Bill Gates, and do you need that much money? You ain't never going to spend that in a lifetime. Send a few bucks to Grumpy. He needs a few bucks for a Japanese mini truck. Yeah, I'm still getting emails. And the one that is getting ready to come off the boat is the same two-tone identical to the one he just sold. It'll be here any day. After the 28th, it'll be here. Be my luck, I'll get a call from the Port of Cleveland. We have a green and white 1991 Subaru Sambar with your name on it. You want to get it out of our way? Really? They shipped it that far? Yeah, it's on its way. And once it gets here, I'll go from 1 email a day to about 10. Because that guy ain't giving up. Although, if I had the cash right now, as soon as it come off the boat, it would be on its way here in a car carrier. Sitting in my driveway. Right in front of the shitbox. I haven't got the heart to tell the guy I can't buy it. I don't want him to sit and cry, go into a fit of depression. You'd be standing on top of a building going, "Goodbye, cruel world. I can't sell the mini truck to Grumpy. It ain't worth living." Yeah. Oops. I told that story once, didn't I? About back, I think it was in the mid-70s. My good buddy was with the police department. And they had a jumper on the bridge. And of course, my buddy got sent down to talk him down. And it was going on for hours and hours and hours. And this guy's up on the bridge, you know. I'm going to jump. You know. No, you don't want to do that. Well, it got to be quitting time. And my buddy's got a sense of humor like me. And he yells up to the guy, "Hey, I don't need no overtime today. Make up your mind. Come down here or jump already." And next thing they heard was, splash. Yeah. The guy was like, "Okay, no overtime for you. I'll jump." They hushed that story up. Oh, yeah. My buddy had little desk duty for a while. "We can't let you out in public, pal." But yeah, he just yelled up to the guy, "Hey, make up your mind. I'm about to go on overtime. Either get your ass down here or jump." And he did. Back in the good old days. Back when they could get away with that shit. Although I'll tell you what, I watched some British police chases. Unbelievable. You know, in America, they go on a 5-mile police chase and they finally get the guy pulled over and they jerk him out of the car and they beat the fuck out of him. Not across the pond. They get the guy stopped and they, "Hello, sir, would you please step back to our car for a chat?" For a chat. And then they sit there and have a chat, and then they write the guy a ticket and let him go. And the people step back for the chat. Oh, God, talk about polite. Yeah. Officer walks up to the car. "Will you please step to our car for a chat?" Okay. He gets in the back of the car and they have a chat. "Here's your citation. Have a nice day." Okay. See ya. Not over here. They bust the windows out of the car, they tase them, they throw them on the ground, they handcuff them. Not across the pond. "Would you come back for a chat, please?" "Why, yes." And they go back for a chat. I watched that video, I backed it up 3 or 4 times. I said, "No, this ain't happening." And then I watched another one, and another one, and another one. Although I like the boxing technique. I love that. I don't know why we don't do that here. One car pulls in front. One gets on the right side, one gets on the left side, one gets on the back, and everybody slowly steps on their brakes until they stop the guy. Not over here. We pit them. Fancy name for crash into them and make them roll over. I'm trying to think what it stands for. Police intervention. I think it's police intervention technique or something like that. Fancy name for ram them in the quarter panel, flip the car over, and then hold them at gunpoint. And then the one police unit, the traffic unit, they use them fancy high-powered Subarus. They refer to them as Scooby-Doos. Oh, God, I couldn't believe I heard that. Yeah, the Scooby-Doo squad. Because they all drive them Subaru WRXIT UV WXYZs. And I love that you guys over there have manual transmissions in your police cars. Not over here. Yeah. I couldn't believe it. Except, like, all the newer cars, they're doing away with them, but most of the police cars over there are manuals. And you guys use fancy police cars. Volvos, BMWs. Unbelievable. Over here, Ford, Chevys. No, not over in England. BMWs, Volvos. Although I have seen a couple of Hyundais, but you guys got some unbelievable police cruisers over there. Unbelievable. No Beamers. No wonder they don't have a shortage of police over in England. I could see some kid, getting ready to turn 21 and go, I get to drive a Beamer for a police car? Sign me up. Over here, it's like, I got to drive a Ford? I don't think so. I'm moving to England. I'd like to get on the Scooby-Doo squad. There's a kid up the street from me that's got one of them Subaru WRX UVWXYZs, and he put a performance exhaust on it. And does that car sound mean when it comes down the street? And it got them gold rims on it. Oh. And it's a manual. I'm like, hey, good for you, kid. But yeah, that's the meanest sounding Subaru I ever heard. One of these days, I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna look that thing over. Plus, we've got now, kids today are kind of assholish. We got a group. I saw them a couple of times over the summer. They're what they call tuners. I think they call them tuners. You ought to see the money that they dump into the engines on some of these Hondas and Toyotas. Holy shit. Big turbochargers. Sound like a bunch of bees when they go by, but oh man. They all met up at the shopping plaza one day during the summer. And they had all the hoods open on their cars. Talk about chrome. Unbelievable. And then how they get them big ass turbochargers on them little 4 cylinders. They don't race around. They don't create havoc. When they want to get together, there's a racetrack. I want to say it's about 25 miles from here. They go in, they pay a fee to use the track, and they run their hot rod cars around the track. They don't race up and down the streets with them. But boy, I have never seen such fancy motors in my life. Makes me want to buy one. I couldn't afford the spark plugs on those cars, let alone the chrome and the turbochargers and the hopped up engines. And come on, lighter. Today, I woke up and, believe it or not, wearing that knee brace for one day, my knee felt 100% better today. I didn't bother putting it on. Now, I got a little creakiness in it. It felt wonderful this morning. I only had that thing on like maybe 14 hours at the most. That brace worked wonders. I woke up this morning, I was a little apprehensive about bending my knee. I kind of slid my left leg out of bed and I went, Oh, that don't feel too bad. Then I straightened it out, and then I bent it back, and I was like, wait a minute, is that the... Yeah, it's the left leg. I even ran up to the store today. No problem with the clutch, and I used my full leg. I wasn't toe tapping because I didn't need the toe tap. Unbelievable. I'll have to call my doctor and thank him. I tell my neighbor today, it's like, oh, my knee's feeling great. She was like, come on, one day in a brace, get serious. Then I walked down the driveway and showed her. But yeah, I woke up this morning. Amazing. But the knee braces is sitting over on my little nightstand, just in case. But yeah, I couldn't believe it. Now watch me fucking fall down again. Although the ice and snow is gone, it's all gone. It's raining right now. A little drizzle. I just hope it don't freeze, because that's typical Cleveland weather. Temperature goes up in the 40, it rains, then overnight the temperature drops, it freezes, and everything's like a sheet of glass around here. And my deer haven't come back. I haven't seen my deer in like 4 days now. I wonder what scared them away. I don't want to see the little deerlet born somewhere else. I want it born in my backyard. But yeah, no deer for 4 days now. First thing in the morning, I raise the shade and look out. No deer. And then every time I go out to make a cup of coffee, no deer. Something scared them off, and I don't know where they went. It really irritates me. No deer. I wanted to see a little deerlet poking its head out from underneath the shrub. But according to the guy from Department of Wildlife, she isn't due until like the end of March. So fingers crossed, they'll come back. Then I'll chain them to the backyard. No. Be my luck that buck could stick his antlers in my chest. He's got a nice rack, though. Really nice rack. He's an 8-pointer. They go by points. 6, 8, 10, 12. Now a 12-pointer, that's a real trophy. He's an 8. But they're still growing. By the time it's time to lose his antlers, he could have a few more points. And that's the strange thing. At a certain time of the year, the antlers fall off. And then they grow new ones. And every time they grow new ones, they come back with more points. But he's got a real nice rack on him. He'd make a good hat rack. And see, that's another thing. The guy from the Department of Wildlife told me. A lot of these bucks know when it's hunting season. And they leave the wild and they come in the city because they know they're safe. Talk about smart animals. Yeah, they look at their calendar and they go, oh, it's hunting season. Time to head for Cleveland. And then they come into the city. And then when hunting season's over, they're like, okay, we can go back home now. But he said, yeah, they know. Well, they probably the first gunshot they hear, and it's like, oh, okay, let's get out of here. But yeah, come hunting season, they head for the city. And they're protected. Although, the way they scamper around, they don't care if they run out in front of traffic. I'd hate to see my buck end up roadkill. Because somebody in the back would be hiding him under my console. Yeah. He'll be wearing that banner for quite a while. That stinky piece of roadkill he brought in here. Yeah, I come in one day, shut the studio door, I'm setting up the microphone. I looked at my shoes. I was like, did I step in something? No. And I'm like, it's coming from underneath me. And I looked down there, I was like, oh. I got a big long set of tongs out in the garbage. And I knew where it came from. Him. And that's why he's wearing the station banner. Punishment. Although he looks cute. It's perfect size, too. That's actually a patch for my jacket. For the back of my jacket. For my, not here. That's a little bit. Yeah, I was thinking, how can I punish him? And then I happened to remember, wait a minute. I've got some patches I haven't put on a coat yet. And then I formed a little collar, and I attached the patch. And he has to wear it until I decide to take it off. And it looks so cute, I might just leave it there. He's back there mumbling underneath his breath. He's chattering. It's all right, buddy. You're lucky. I could have put you in a cage for bringing that shit in my... And then of all places in the whole goddamn building. He couldn't take it, out in the warehouse where we store all the old equipment. No. He has to bring it in my studio and stick it under my console. Then that day I come in, I thought I stepped in dog shit. It's like, oh, man. And I got the flashlight out, and he tucked it back under the corner, too. Grumpy don't bend that well to crawl underneath that console. I found it, and I threw it out. And then I got the little patch and made him a little collar. He shouldn't complain. I could have zip-tied his beak. I figured I'd be nice. Just make him wear the... And I make him parade around the studio, too. He has to go outside, walk up and down the sidewalk, up and down the driveway. Oh, yeah, during the day, you ought to see him out there. People drive by, they take pictures. Can I get a selfie with you? He shouldn't complain. He's got a following. People take selfies with him. Look at that cute vulture. See, we don't get many vultures in the city. So when people see him with that neat little banner, they're like, let's get a selfie with the vulture. Click. He shouldn't complain. He's probably on TalkTick and Instant Graham Cracker and all them unsociable media sites. I think I should leave it on him. Make him wear it permanently. Not a bad idea. Uh-oh. What's it saying? Oh. It said my YouTube stream is healthy. The other night, yeah, it did freeze up. It kind of ticked me off. There were a couple of, nothing like it stopping mid-sentence. And then when it picks up, you don't know what the hell I was talking about. But yeah, I just got a healthy stream. When the gray boxes come up, that's good. When the red one comes up, oh. Before I push my luck, maybe it's outro time. Watch this mind of its own tablet irritate me. Go to music. No. Oh, I caught it. I caught it before it started. Now we go to outro. Before we go outro, let me set my clicker. Where's my clicker? I always forget my clicker. There we go. Got the clicker ready. All right, friends, it's outro time. We know where. Right here, WDWL TV. Right around 7. I think I nailed it today. I'm pretty sure I nailed it at 7 o'clock. If not 7:01, but I know I was close. I was paying attention today. And with that, friends, I thank you again for putting up with me for another stream. It's been fun. We had a good chat going today. Chat's working fine. The counter's working fine. The clock's working fine. The audio level's working fine. So far, I'm doing everything right. And with that, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening, or afternoon, or daytime, wherever you're at. And we will meet again right here tomorrow night. See ya.